Urgency alert for all Washington Commanders fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we dive into the details, make sure to subscribe to the channel because here, we bring you daily updates on everything happening with the Washington Commanders. And to make sure you never miss out on any breaking news, activate those notifications right now. Now, let's get into what could be a game-changing move for our beloved team. Alright, folks, today we're talking about something that's been generating a lot of buzz around the NFL, especially among Commanders supporters. It involves a name that, if it materializes, could seriously impact our team's outlook for the upcoming season and beyond. And trust me, this is not just another off-season rumor, it's something that could reshape our defensive front, which, let's be honest, has been a bit of a question mark lately. So, what exactly is happening? Well, reports suggest that the Washington Commanders are eyeing a potential addition to their pass rush, a player with a proven track record, a guy who's been a household name in the league for years, but who is currently on the market after being released unexpectedly. That player, folks, is none other than Jadeveon Clowney. Yeah, you heard that right. Jadeveon Clowney, the former #1 overall pick out of South Carolina, a player who's been dominating headlines, and sometimes not in the way we'd like, but still a player with undeniable talent and experience. Now, Clowney's release from the Carolina Panthers shocked many around the league. It was quite an unexpected move, especially considering his reputation as a dependable veteran who can bring leadership and grit to any locker room. Clowney isn't just a player who can set the edge, he's a guy who's been a disruptive force in the backfield, capable of creating pressure and making big plays when it matters most. And for a team like Washington, which has been trying to solidify its pass rush and build a more aggressive, competitive defense, Clowney's addition could be a real game-changer. But, of course, the big question is, should the Commanders make a move? And does Clowney still have what it takes to contribute at a high level? Well, let's talk about his recent situation first. Clowney didn't hold back after parting ways with the Panthers. In fact, he was quite vocal about his frustration with how everything went down. Speaking out through reports, he made it clear that he believes he still has a lot of football left in him and that he's eager for another opportunity to prove himself. He's been reaching out, pleading for someone to give him a shot, to rescue him from what he calls the scrap heap, and that kind of attitude is exactly what teams look for in a veteran leader. He's been a guy who's played on multiple teams, Houston Texans, Seattle Seahawks, Tennessee Titans, and now Carolina, and he's seen a lot of different defensive schemes. That kind of versatility is valuable, especially for a team like Washington that's still trying to find its identity on defense. Clowney's known for his ability to set the edge, his run-stopping ability is top-notch, and he can also be a force in the pass rush, especially when paired with the right players around him. And as we look at the Commanders' roster, one thing is clear, they are in a position where they need to add talent, especially along the defensive line. This year's off-season moves have been aggressive, with General Manager Martin Mayhew and head coach Ron Rivera clearly making it a priority to improve the team's front seven. The Commanders have already made some notable signings and draft picks, but one area that still screams for reinforcement is the pass rush. Dante Fowler Jr. left in free agency to join the Dallas Cowboys, creating a void that the team needs to fill. And that's where Clowney comes in. He could be that veteran presence who not only adds pressure on quarterbacks but also helps mentor the younger players on the line. Imagine a defensive line that features guys like Chase Young, Montez Sweat, and now, potentially, Jadeveon Clowney. That's a nightmare for offenses, especially if Clowney's health and motivation are on point. His ability to play both as a 4-3 defensive end and as a versatile edge rusher makes him a valuable asset. And let's be honest, for a team aiming for the playoffs, every addition that can tip the scales in our favor is worth considering. Clowney's experience and leadership could provide that extra spark the Commanders need to take the next step. Now, some might argue that Clowney's best days are behind him, but if you look at his recent performances, he's still capable of making impactful plays. Remember, he's been a consistent player throughout his career, even if he's not posting double-digit sacks every season, his presence alone often commands double teams, freeing up others on the line. Plus, he's a locker room leader who's known for his work ethic and professionalism, which are qualities that resonate well within any team environment. And here's the interesting part, Clowney's versatility means he can be used in different schemes. Whether the Commanders decide to run a 3-4 or a 4-3 defense, he can adapt. And given the current NFL emphasis on pass rush and quarterback pressure, having a player like Clowney who can set the edge and collapse the pocket is a strategic advantage. He's also been known to generate some big plays, whether it's forcing fumbles or batting down passes at the line of scrimmage. But, as always in the NFL, nothing is guaranteed. The Commanders' front office and coaching staff will need to evaluate whether Clowney's recent film and health status align with their long-term plans. It's one thing to be a veteran leader, it's another to be a difference-maker on the field. And with the season fast approaching, the window for making such moves is closing quickly. It wouldn't be surprising if, in the coming weeks, we hear some definitive news about a potential deal or at least discussions heating up behind the scenes. Pause here, just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now, let's continue with the big reveal. Looking at the bigger picture, this move also signals that the Commanders are serious about competing right now. They are not just building for the future, they want to contend this year and make a real push into the playoffs. The NFC East is more competitive than ever, with teams like the Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants all improving their rosters. Having a seasoned edge rusher like Clowney could be the piece that elevates our pass rush from decent to elite. And in a league where a single sack or a forced fumble can swing a game, every bit of extra talent counts. Furthermore, Clowney's presence could impact the entire defense's morale. When you add a player with his pedigree and leadership qualities, it lifts the entire unit. The younger guys, like Chase Young, might learn a lot from sharing the field with someone who's been through the battles of multiple playoff runs. And let's not forget, Clowney has a reputation for staying in shape and being game-ready, which is crucial as the season progresses. His motivation to prove himself again could translate into high energy and relentless effort during practices and games. Of course, the final decision rests with the Commanders' front office, led by GM Martin Mayhew and head coach Ron Rivera. They've shown a willingness to be aggressive this offseason, and bringing Clowney aboard would be consistent with that approach. It's a calculated risk, but one that could pay dividends if everything aligns. The team's current pass rush needs a boost, especially since the league is increasingly dominated by high-powered offenses. The addition of Clowney, if it happens, could be a statement that Washington is all in on making a serious postseason run. So, as we keep an eye on this developing story, what does it all mean for us, the fans? Well, it's an exciting time. The potential signing of Clowney could energize the fanbase, bring new hope, and give the team a much-needed boost on defense. It's a move that says, we're not just watching from the sidelines, but we're here to compete, and we're serious about it. Whether or not it comes to fruition, this kind of speculation and anticipation keeps the NFL offseason interesting, especially for those of us who bleed burgundy and gold. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on the possibility of Clowney joining the team? Do you think he's still got what it takes to make a difference? Would you welcome him with open arms or prefer to see the team go in a different direction? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of the Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, insider info, and analysis, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's go Commanders!